Do we need supplements?
Nikhil Kamath podcast that we saw, right? There is literally a conversation where one guy said, I take about 60 pills a day, and the other guy said, oh, I take about 30. It was almost like they're competing on taking more pills. I'm like, bhai, kya chal raha hai?
If you are taking a very good diet, you don't require supplement.
There is a particular nutrient. If it is deficient, you need to supplement it.
Enlightenment के बाद अब तो 200 साल जीना है.
Correct.
What kind of supplements do we need and why do we need them?
There is a way to correct those deficiencies.
You take salicylic acid for pimple. You
I
will
didn't
take. Bro, you don't have.
The majority of the people don't even know that they have these deficiencies.
How do I even know what deficiency are they fulfilling? How do I navigate through that? Alright folks, welcome to episode 4 of Shortcut Productions. This is a special one. This is again a new format just like we did in the previous episode. This time we are talking to one special person who we find as doing something incredible. His personality is very, very different than a regular builder you might encounter upon in an HSR layout. And we also happen to be working closely with him. At least I am currently working closely with him. That's a disclaimer. And this guy knows him really well from college days. So we have Aftab with us. Aftab,
Yes.
you want to
Welcome to episode 4.
Yes, sir.
Before we start, quick couple of points.
Yes.
This episode is different from what we have done so far. We will be doing some live customer reviews of a product. And just to call out, we don't recommend trying this at home. We don't. Anything that we talk about in this episode might be controversial on multiple aspects.
Yeah.
But we're not here trying to do scientific research. We're trying to break down things into more simple, understandable concepts.
Correct.
And this was a very, very curious one for us.
Yes.
So we decided that we will do it in the way.
I can almost not hold back my excitement for this episode. It's crazy. I love that.
Yes.
All right.
And now, before we get into our Aftab's introduction,
Right.
Pratik, when was the last time you had a hangover? Or let me phrase it in a better way.
All right.
Have you heard of a magic hangover cure?
There are these things that you end up drinking before you go drinking. I don't know what they're called, like pre-party.
Have you tried any of that?
Yeah. I can't recall trying it.
I
because
tried. I found all of them shit.
All right.
The
perfect.
only thing that's ever worked for me for a hangover is if I drink ORS the night before.
Huh.
If I have a full pack of ORS, if I'm drunk, that for quite a few cases solves my problem.
Yeah.
But there is nothing instantaneous or pre-drink that I have come across or tried which has given me results.
In my 30s, I don't think I've had so many mornings, but 20s mein काफी common tha when you wake up and you're like, I'm never gonna fucking drink again. After, when was the last time you had a hangover? Wait a second, you don't drink, right?
I don't drink.
Oh shit.
Aftab is also a doctor, guys. By the way.
Yes.
But we'll let Aftab do his own introduction. Aftab, you want to go ahead?
Hello everyone. Hi, I'm Aftab. I'm a doctor by profession. I stumbled into medicine purely because I was extremely curious कि ठीक है इज्जत कहाँ मिलती है. तो मुझे ऐसा लगा क्योंकि आया in my school there were some rockstar kids who I think just out of 30 students almost 10 to 12 kids got into IITs and all. So I thought what can I do something which is different, and that's where I stumbled into medicine. Did my medicine, post that I did a specialization in cardiology, but I'm somebody who's extremely passionate about healthcare, understanding the business side of healthcare. And that's where I started exploring into multiple industries in the healthcare space. My last gig was with Medfin, where we did surgeries across India. We were live in 12 to 13 cities. It was a surgery aggregator platform. I also went to a B school, and that's about it.
You don't have to be so modest about it.
Yeah, look at.
So Aftab was also the CBO at Medfin. One of the persons I personally look up to when I have any kind of a medical issue.
Right. Very interesting. And I honestly don't know if maybe everybody's dictionary looks a little different. In my dictionary, I don't know enough number of people who have studied medicine and have gone ahead and studied business as well, right?
Yes.
So that makes you a very rare breed, sir.
Perfect.
Lovely, lovely.
That brings us to the point that what are we talking about today?
Yes.
After we want to quickly share what's your new startup about? What are you doing?
TrueDrip is a company which focuses on providing supplements to your body in the most effective way.
Okay.
And how do we do that? Is we do it by IV therapy.
Okay.
What is IV therapy? It directly goes into your body through veins.
It's the same as जैसे alcohol poisoning होता है तो अपन वो लगा के बैठते
Correct.
Are you telling me that it's a startup which does what hospitals do but is more focused on wellness?
Yes, you can say that. At the same time, it is helping you in terms of not just wellness. Yeah, wellness is the main thing, wherein you are correcting deficiencies. You are improving their overall body parameters so that they live an effective life. Now, this is what you are trying to do. Now, traditionally, IV therapy was more like, you must have heard in your family कि बहुत बुखार आ गया है, एक glucose चढ़ा दो.
Yes.
That's a common
Most
thing you
common
must have heard in your family कि glucose चढ़ा दो. तो glucose होता क्या है? आपको तो खाना खिलाया, we can feed you, we can give you nutrients in the body. The reason why you give a glucose or an IV after a post-hospital experience is because it's the most effective way to provide nutrients into your body. It's the fastest way.
We don't know what's the right way, what's the wrong way. What we do know is that not just India but globally, everywhere, the world is going through a new phase of wellness.
Yes.
There is hyper information around what's right, what's wrong for your body, what should you take, what should you not take, what kind of deficiencies do you have. There's a whole bunch of stuff going on.
Yeah.
And it's confusing as fuck
Yes.
for everybody. I don't know for everybody, but for me, it surely
Bro,
is.
you have at least one more person in the same boat.
Right. So, our intent of this episode was to get somebody who's running a business in this space, who has been a doctor himself, to bust some myths and also help us explain that what he is doing, why he is doing, and whether it is actually meaningful. Right? So, we will ask the tough questions on you're saying it's the right delivery mechanism, but I don't know.
Right.
Because I might have different thoughts on taking more Ayurvedic stuff, or I don't want needles in my body. Right? It just doesn't give a good feeling. Right? So it's this is what we are trying to do with this episode. And
I think the entire generation, especially the people in my circle, I know that we are all hooked to this narrative of being super productive, super healthy, extremely fit, right? But we're also shit lazy about it. We don't really want to do the hard work behind it, right? Like I know 5 odd people, I can call them up right now and confirm also that they take this shit called melatonin before they try to sleep, right? Apparently it helps them sleep better. I don't even know how true or not.
I don't know how to spell that.
Yeah, and my point is, bro, मेहनत कर ले थोड़ा थक जाएगा, नींद अच्छी आ जाएगी, ये क्या कर रहा है?
Go to the gym, guys.
But then,
so this episode is more about TrueDrip and what it does and the IV industry in general, which is taking over the world. What we are going to do is test Aftab's product. Aftab's product promises cure for hangover instantly. Am I right, Aftab? Correct us if I'm
Yes.
that's one of the products.
That's one of the products.
One of the products.
One of the promises of IV drips. So we are going to test it live. We're shooting this before we actually get a hangover tomorrow morning. That's our plan for tonight. And tomorrow we'll be putting on the drips and live recording and seeing whether Aftab is true or. So we'll keep it shorter today and we'll discuss more about the industry itself tomorrow.
Yes.
But
yes.
IV as an industry is in a very raging phenomena. At least we've seen very influential individuals take IV drips for high performance.
Right.
We told Nikhil Kamath, we've seen Kylie Jenner. It's quite popular in the West.
Sure.
Yeah.
Even in India, what I've seen of late is there was a Ken article also pointing to it.
Yeah, dude. Somebody posted their wedding story recently, and they were showing how all guests were given like a small gut drink that apparently is supposed to make you, I don't know, feel better after alcohol or something of that sort. But yes, today
They've become like what barbers, iron guys used to be.
for real.
The makeup artist.
So
The wedding is like one more necessity now.
that is happening. Plus, I think what we'll try to cover today, like before we prep ourselves for a hangover, which
Again, just to call out, disclaimer, guys, we don't recommend anything, whether drinking, taking, it's all your choice, your body.
Yeah.
We're doing this just to because we are very curious and we like to test stuff out and see how things work. This is not a recommendation to take a product or do something. We are
Absolutely.
just trying to go underlying into what makes this stuff work. Why should we take it? And I'm okay to test myself on that.
Correct. So when I say today, the first half of this video is essentially going to be us talking about India moving to a place where now supplements are a part of our culture. Right? How did this happen? How did we arrive here? And to begin that journey, let's ask everybody on the table, right? What was the first supplement you think you took? And when I say supplement, it could be anything that seems to promise a lot of nutrition or a vitamin in some form, but outside of your daily meal. Ankit, go first.
For me, it was Chyawanprash.
Chyawanprash is honestly
That's
the
the
OG
first thing
Indian
that I
supplement,
can
guys.
remember.
Let's go. Yes. If Dabur is watching, you can sponsor this.
Same thing with Chyawanprash. I had Chyawanprash. I had fortified milk Complan. If you think about it, उसमें भी तो there is some level of
Bonvita
nutrient.
has been pushing itself as a supplement drink.
Yeah.
You are right.
Don't sue us for this Bonvita, but
No, but for real, okay, now I just Complan, Milo, Bonvita, these were actually supplements being given to us, right?
Yeah, I mean, not supplement specific, but the whole marketing was around that.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, like
Ki-
nutrition
there-
beyond your
There is a
milk.
deficiency in your milk. Put a
Yes.
powder, it will fortify your milk, and then you'll get better nutrient, which आपको help you grow. क्या Complan का ad is there ना कि Complan पीने वाले बच्चे लंबे होते हैं. All that.
what was the first supplement you remember?
Honestly, Complan was the first one, I think, and Chyawanprash also. But when I thought supplement, if you think about the first product that was actually positioned as a supplement, it was probably calcium sandoz for me. Calcium sandoz literally said
yes.
calcium, and sandoz का मतलब नहीं पता क्या होता है मेरे को, but calcium sandoz is what they were trying to fucking sell, right?
True.
So
Does
that
it sell
I think
now?
is the
I don't even know. I haven't seen it on counters,
No
or
idea.
I'm too.
Maybe we're
disconnected.
too old to be part of that target audience.
yeah.
So, yeah.
True.
But I'm pretty sure people must be using it.
All right. What we'd like to go a little deeper is first, do we need supplements? Second, if yes, what kind of supplements do we need and why do we need them? And third, how do those supplements affect our body in terms of longevity, in terms of our performance, in terms of whatever else it might impact us? Starting with, do we need supplements?
See, it's a very subjective situation when it comes to supplements. For example, if you are taking a very good diet and the kind of nutrients which you're getting through food is optimum for your body, you don't require supplements. If you see long before when we were into this kind of an urban atmosphere, our grandparents used to, move around the farm. They used to eat fruits which are more organic, and they used to. And the body has this beautiful thing that whatever quality nutrients you provide, it tries to take the best out of it, and that was good enough for you. So you were not putting up a lot of weight. Your gut health was very good, and you knew that बोलता ना कि दादी माँ के नुस्खे. So दादी माँ के नुस्खों में बहुत सारी अच्छी चीजें भी होती थी कि you used to take खिचड़ी, you used to take some protein, you used to walk a lot, you used to sit in the sunlight. All of those जो urban audience के जो issues है वो थे नहीं आपको. तो generally वहाँ पे भी people never thought of supplements as a thing. Now that can be said as either they were not tested for their deficiencies, but majority of the time, whatever good food, if you were able to consume, the quality of the food was good, you were able to replenish those nutrients in your body. Now what happens is, as a human being, every day when you're working, you are, some of the elements in your body are getting reduced. For example, if you don't work out, let's take after a month, and with age, you lose some muscle mass. If you don't take enough protein, that is what happens. If you don't, for example, sit in the sunlight, you don't get enough vitamin D in your body, and that affects you. And if you're not having enough calcium in your diet, calcium is not there in your body, it affects your bones. So what happens is all of these things have an impact. So now what happens is the way you should look at supplement is, because I am in an urban setting, the quality of food is not that great. I don't have
Can you go, what do you define by quality of food not being that great?
let's take if 100 milligram of particular nutrient is required in your body,
Sure.
and that you get it from, let's take an orange.
Sure.
Maybe you require 3 oranges to eat to just give you the daily requirement of your particular nutrient. You don't do that, right? You take 1 orange, maybe half a orange. Maybe you will forget even to take an orange.
Maybe once a week.
Maybe once a week. You are supposed to sit under the sun for, let's take 5 minutes, 10 minutes in the early morning time. I see people hardly going out and getting some sunlight, right? You're supposed to run. You're supposed to walk. You don't do any of those things. So these are all lifestyle things. Plus, it's also a function of the country itself. We in India are not a protein-rich country, and the only nutrients majority of the people also get is more on the carbohydrate side. They don't get so many nutrients. Fruit culture is not there as such. So a lot of these micronutrients is what you don't get even from a traditional standpoint, plus a lifestyle standpoint, and that is what is happening. So when you look at supplement as a market, first people were not even tested what are their deficiencies. Second is once they are tested कि उनके पास deficiencies है, you are supplementing it. And then ultimately, if you get the right optimum supplements in your body, optimum nutrients in your body is the most peak capacity to work in the way it should. So for example, if you have enough magnesium, you will have your nervous system works very well, you sleep better. Similarly, there are a lot of wear and tear also that is happening. जैसा कि आप ये सोचो कि you are stressed out, you are working out. So body has a lot of other biochemical reactions that is happening, which is called as the logic of NAD, the logic of glutathione. These are all working as antioxidant. So for example, your liver is so much working regularly in removing because of stress and strain, you want to detox that liver, right? So glutathione is one such antioxidant which is getting used for detoxifying the liver. So there are a lot of things that is happening. Because there is deficiency, because of lifestyle, because of culture, you are supplementing it.
So here is my understanding, okay? There is a particular nutrient or similar item that has to be in your body. If it is deficient, whether by your own lifestyle or by whatsoever other reason, right? You need to supplement it. That's literally the genesis of the word supplement itself, right? That's how the word came around. Yes. So when you are deficient, you supplement it, and that kind of makes sense, okay? But when I today look at the supplement market, right? So I can go to any random supplement website on India today, and I will just go to a drop down which says by health situations or by goals, right? And it will have for better skin. How do I even know what deficiency are they fulfilling? The fact that I don't have a better skin, how do I measure it? How do I ever get to know that? So how do I navigate through that? Is that a deficiency supplement or is it something else?
So that's a very interesting question. See, supplement will have a meaningful impact when you have certain deficiency, and if you maintain that equilibrium of the nutrients in your body, you will be at your best peak performance. That is more or less the goal.
I just want to be clear here that when we are calling out deficiency, we are talking about that the individual is not at peak performance and is deficient from peak performance. Is that yes, that will help me be more productive, be better, and all of that?
No, I'm not even talking about that nuanced thing. I'm just saying take a blood test. Blood test में दो चीज लिखा है, vitamin D कम आया है, vitamin B12 कम आया है. That is deficiency. I'm saying science says इतने से इतने range के बीच में
होना चाहिए. वो तो हर बार आया है. मतलब जब भी जाके whenever I've taken a blood test, it tells me I don't have X, I don't have Y, I don't have Z, my this is out, my this is out.
Yeah, taking supplement for that makes a ton of sense because I know what I'm supplementing.
That's fair, but I just wanted to clarify and maybe converge on that point that taking that supplement is for improving your performance. Not taking that supplement or not supplementing your vitamin D today, it may or may not, like I'm not a doctor to call out anything, but I'm not going to die tomorrow is what I am saying.
Absolutely.
Sure.
See, so I may or may not take that and I might still survive and I might get by, which is what happens with most people.
Absolutely.
I'll give you a story which recently happened. There is a lady who, she is working in an IT firm and her boss called me and he asked, Kia, one of my employee, she always complains of stress, body pain and all that. So we suggested, why don't you go and do a blood profile and do a vitamin profile just to understand what is the situation. We were surprised to see that her hemoglobin level were almost half of what it should be there. Her B12 was on a lower side. Her vitamin D was horribly low. So now when you talk to her, so I spoke to her and I asked her, how are you feeling? What is happening? Sir, I always feel this bad because I'm working long hours. I feel stressed and I sleep a lot. When I'm walking or I'm going for a long walk, after let's take half an hour, I get tired. She doesn't know that. She is thinking because of work, because of lack of sleep, I'm having all these issues. Once the blood test came in, when we saw the parameters, when she was deficient, we realized that actually the logical thing to do is to replenish her nutrients to that optimum level. And once we started that program, we did it we did in our way of delivery, which is the IV delivery mechanism, because we felt it is the most effective way to replenish your nutrients. And by almost a month or almost 15 days, we have seen all our parameters are coming back to the normal state, and she's feeling good about it. And she is fresh, she's coming to work regularly. Now, the question I was asking myself is, ये blood का level gira kaisa? Then what I got to know is, she was telling that my level always used to be around 10, 11, but post period it goes down to, why is that happening? Do I have some bigger issue like a cancer or something? And she was paranoid about it. So technically what you understand is, because you have zero clarity, because people like you and me might go around YouTube, watch videos, we have some understanding, we take supplements, we are a little bit on the side where we are more educated about it. But there is majority of the audience who doesn't know that supplement will help them. In their side is ki, because of work, let me take a 1 week break. You might not realize, take your break, but you might realize that there is a lot of nutrients deficiency which you have, which is not helping you to do better. Now, this entire thing of everybody going for supplements came after post-COVID. Everybody is now talking about immunity, longevity, मेरे को अच्छा रहना है, I have to reduce weight, I have to work hard. Like, why? What suddenly happened? Because you realize bad health led to a lot of issues in your body.
Right.
Now, I am not telling supplement is is a bullet which will help you. There are so much variabilities at play. Imagine that all your parameters are amazing, but tomorrow there can be one clot in your body which was not got diagnosed and it just goes into your vessel, blocks your vessel, you get a heart attack and you die. You don't know that. But the logic is, I will reduce the cholesterol in your body, or I'll at least keep the cholesterol level optimum in your body by giving you supplements or tablets or whatever, so that the probability of you getting a clot will be reduced significantly. If your parameters are good, especially with micronutrients and all, you also are very productive in this sense. Now, productivity, I don't have a study on this, I have not even gone deeper into it, but it's very logical. Because what is happening in alcohol? You are drinking a lot of alcohol, you are getting dehydrated. A lot of electrolytes are going out of your body. A lot of, the liver has a lot of effect on the liver also because of alcohol. So now what are you doing? You are replenishing nutrients, either through ORS, which you told, or through any other delivery mechanism. You are bringing back to your normal state. The moment I bring you back to your normal state, you will not have a hangover thing. It's as simple as that. So you're reducing your brain fog and all of that. So it's very subjective. Now let's take if there's also a situation where it is abuse also. Supplement abuse भी होता है. फालतू का बस डालते जा रहे हैं, तो it has no use. It might just come out of the urine and goes off also.
So I get a benchmarking done, I get a blood test done or vitamin profile test done. I see my numbers, they're supposed to be in a specified range, maybe they're not there, right? Once I have this diagnosis, in the spirit of preventive healthcare, right? I'm trying to go and find supplements for these, right? A lot of times doctor prescribed, a lot of times just for the, I don't know why people do it. Yeah, just over the counter stuff happening, right? So this is highly understandable. Like if somebody was doing this, I would understand. My problem is with two specific things. I think a lot of people are just doing things in a very uneducated manner, right? The other thing I have a problem with is, I have a feeling that maybe in the last 5 years, I've heard of chemicals, compounds, and other things that I had never heard of all my life. That Nikhil Kamath podcast that we saw, right? There was literally a conversation where one guy said, I take about 60 pills a day, and the other guy said, oh, I take about 30. It was almost like they're competing on taking more pills. I'm like, bhai, kya chal raha hai ye?
What do we not know?
What is it?
What are we missing?
What is this rich people thing we have been kept away from?
हम लोग यार मैस्लो हायरार्की का छप्पड़ फाड़ रहे हैं. एनलाइटमेंट के बाद अब तो 200 साल जीना है.
Correct.
लॉजिक इज अगर पैरामीटर्स अच्छे रहेंगे,
right,
तो we'll most probably will not have issues and we'll live longer. Yeah, to be honest, it's a very there's no definitive answer to these things. Now, for example, if you go to a doctor, the moment the doctor like checks your blood pressure, checks your skin, he understands. When he looks at your body, he can understand that you have iron deficiency. If he tells you take iron, there is an immediate impact in your life. You will take that supplement for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and you will feel good. But if you just saw some ad कि ये खाने से आपका आयरन बढ़ जाएगा, पहला तो क्वेश्चन ये है कि what is the bioavailability? So let me make it simple. Lot of people will say जैसे कि बोलते हैं ना कि दूध पीने में आयरन है, बट वो कितना मतलब आपकी बॉडी को लेट्स टेक 10 ग्राम ऑफ आयरन चाहिए, आई डोंट नो, लेट्स टेक एक्स अमाउंट ऑफ ग्राम्स चाहिए, 0.001 ग्राम का आयरन डाल के भी अगर आप बोल रहे हो कि मेरे ड्रिंक में आयरन है, दैट्स अ मार्केटिंग गिमिक. Right, and you're taking that and say कि हाँ मैंने तो आज का आयरन लिया. Now let's take you over index on iron. You're just taking supplements as the way it goes. It can also have a negative impact. So a lot of times doctors themselves suggest कि when you're taking supplements, it's a finite duration and you have to take a break because the body will again lose a lot of these micronutrients, and again you can take the supplements. You're not supposed to take supplements day in day out for 3-4 months because a lot of side effects also can happen there.
There are certain products that claim to be like a holistic dose of supplementation for some essential vitamins and minerals. For example, there is AG1 out there in the market. There are so many multivitamin tablets, multivitamin for men, multivitamin for women, right? And there is a decent, like a significant portion of the population which now says that don't even think about it, just pop a multivitamin every day, right? I'm okay doing that. I don't have a problem. But I want to understand from you, from a doctor's perspective, right? Two things are possible, right? A, it's harmful to you. B, it's ineffective. So what is it that I need to understand from it? Can it be harmful, or the worst
How do
case
you
is...
decide as a user on what to do? And if I want to achieve, let's say I want to, run 100 meters in whatever second, if I set that target, that could be another way to look at it. So how do you decide for an individual, what do you do?
So it's a very subjective thing. For example, so let me just answer, because one is a goal-oriented question which you had, whereas you was an information asymmetry question. I have no knowledge what I should take. Your body has deficiency. You're supposed to logically replenish it. Now, the logical thing for you to do is somebody first should assess you that you have this deficiency. Point one. Now, let's take that is a doctor or a nutritionist or a test or an assessment that happened. Now, if that is not happening, there is a proxy. So, there are physical signs which you can see in a person who has a deficiency also. So, that can be a proxy just to know कि यार थोड़ा कमी है मेरे बॉडी में इसलिए. So you didn't even go to a doctor, didn't even do that. Now, how accurate you are in terms of taking that proxy data to arrive at something to take a decision कि यार शायद मेरा स्किन बहुत ड्राई हो गई है, सपलनेस कम हो गया है, वीकनेस ज़्यादा फील कर रहा हूँ, why don't I take a multivitamin, right? So that is more or less the path a consumer will take to choose a multivitamin. Now, once he is choosing, what to choose is a very important question, because what happens and what is I believe is the major issue is because of information asymmetry, because of a lot of branding exercises that happen around each supplement, what you see is the quality. Everybody will tell you have vitamin D, vitamin C, everything. But any molecule or any chemical which you make, it will have a lot of things called as fillers. The market is flooded with proteins which has a lot of these fillers, which has actually a negative impact. So if you're not taking a high quality nutrient from a doctor prescribed way or through a good testing way, or you don't even know that this is one of the best brands, you will take them and you will abuse them. And if the abuse go to a stage where it might affect your body also. And that's what is happening. So how do I answer this question is, be an informed audience. That's the best you can do. Go to an expert, go to a nutritionist, get your blood test. And that's
But even there, Aftab, it's a maze, right?
Yeah.
Which nutritionist, what are they recommending? Like, what is the most simplest way to say that, yes, this is what you can do, and you might result into the right answer?
So I'll give you a lifestyle answer and a supplement answer. Lifestyle answer is very simple here. Do the basics. What is the basics? If you're somehow managing your sleep, you sleep well, your body itself will take care of majority of the things. That is the most basic thing to do. Second most basic thing is making sure that you have a balanced diet. That balanced diet includes all your micronutrient which is coming through your vegetables, fruits and proteins and carbs in the right proportion. Great. Take some sunlight. in the morning time. If you do all these basic things, and the last thing is stress. Now, stress is a multivariate problem. You just cannot solve it. Ki, हाँ, मुझे stress नहीं चाहिए आज. You cannot choose that. But if you can sleep well, if you can eat well, you're mitigating some aspect of stress, because lack of sleep can also is one more variable to cause stress. Not taking enough vitamin D is also a major cause of stress. Not having enough nutrients is a major. So reduce that. So this is a basic life hack. Now your question is, यार ठीक है, life तो होने वाली है नहीं, supplement लेते हैं. So now that when you're talking about supplement, I think new companies, new brands have to come in the market where their entire delivery mechanism of supplements or whatever is consumer centric. Because as you rightly pointed out, a lot of people don't even know what deficiency I have, what issues you have. So education भी ज़रूरी है पहले. तो जब आपका education होगा and the solution जब आपको when a solution is given to you, you will be a more informed audience to take the call.
Any test that you recommend, Aftab, which gives you this?
So the most basic is you can call as a vitamin profile. This is one which gives you some clarity. Second is your CBP. CBP gives you, it's called as a complete blood picture. So that gives you a clarity about a little bit about your blood parameters. And vitamin D test is part of vitamin profile, but you can divide it, because a lot of time vitamin D is a separate thing also you can get. So
and these are tests available across
available. You can just, nowadays you have home delivery startups who come take the blood. What I do for my family is very simple. I do a comprehensive yearly test.
Got it. This is the fairly easier, straightforward part of supplement industry, I think. Now I want to come to the more complex, more sophisticated, and the more honestly exciting part of it, right? So you keep seeing these athletes, right? These athletes are taking some supplements which seem to be not available generally, right? And it almost feels like there is you establish causation in some sense, that because he takes this, that's why he's so fast, that's why he's so good, right? And whatnot. Similarly, I see a particular, very high profile entrepreneur taking a certain kind of drug or a supplement, right? And I know that this guy is successful, so maybe it's almost aspirational now that I want to go ahead and take it. So and the third example I want to take is you want to take these beauty models, the actors and actresses, right? They look pretty good, right? They go and they have a certain specific regimen that they follow, and this might not have anything to do with a vitamin or something at all, right?
Yes.
Now, like that's where I heard glutathione. Like every other motherfucker on the planet today knows, in the last 5 years now, knows that you take salicylic acid for pimples, right?
True.
You
I
will
didn't
take. Bro, you don't have.
You don't have.
Yeah. So people who have gone through the issue, now we know that now you need to find a face wash with salicylic acid in it, right? Now there is.
But you
azelaic
also got
acid.
to avoid some chemicals,
Yes.
sulfate, paraben.
Yes, something has to be avoided as well, right? So now this is a whole different league of supplements that we are looking at, right? This is not being taken because you're deficient in a certain thing, right? This is more and more personalized to you,
Correct,
right?
correct.
Now salicylic acid, someone needs it, someone doesn't. Right?
True.
People are figuring out that there is a certain thing, and these items happen to be more goal specific, is what I'm trying to get at, right? Here there is no approach like this where I first go and get a vitamin profile and look at the deficiency and then take something, right? I'm doing this for an aspiration. There is a goal that I want to be more productive, more smarter, more intelligent, more faster, or whatever, right? इस स्पेस को कैसे navigate करना चाहिए?
Very simple यार. देखो, one is a medicinal reason to take something where the doctor recommends you. He gives you an IV therapy, he gives you tablets, where the role of the medicine is to treat something, reduce the symptom, which is your antibiotics or any of the other things. All these things which we are discussing is coming more on the wellness trend.
Yeah.
So now, majority of the time in the wellness space, you are not giving anything to treat. It is just that you're not feeling good nutrients will help you. So to give you a simple example, whether I take NAD, now there is enough data which says, again this has to be validated, so I'll not put my thing there कि NAD का पूरा testing हो चुका है, but with age your body loses NAD up to almost 50%. Now, because NAD is not there in your body, at a cellular level, the way your body should perform, it's not performing in that way. So, what do you do? How do you get NAD? Because NAD is produced in the body itself,
Right.
but it's producing at a 50% capacity. So, what do? You're replenishing that NAD through, let's take a drip. On the logic, ki if the NAD replenishment happen, you will feel good, you will be more productive because your body is getting the energy to do that work. Now, is it like it's like, but you just cannot call that like a silver bullet कि मेरे को पता है कि यार एंटीबायोटिक्स में ये अगर बैक्टीरिया का इन्फेक्शन है ये दूंगा मैं इमीडिएट रिजल्ट आएगा ये सप्लीमेंट साइड में है कि ये अच्छी चीज है लेके देखो इसके साइड इफेक्ट्स क्या रहेंगे कौन से डेमोग्राफी में कैसे आएगा मे बी इट वर्क्स फॉर समबडी इन द वेस्टर्न ऑडियंस इट डजंट वर्क हियर इट इज स्टिल people are learning and they are improving their science and knowledge around this. So a lot of debate also there. So don't blindly follow also anybody. Don't blindly follow a trend. But net good is happening. You're knowing more about your body. You're knowing more about the chemicals in your body. And that's a good thing. And that's what Brian Johnson is trying to do as well.
No, absolutely. I think what my prime takeaway from this was that supplement market is probably it might be fair to divide it into two parts, right? A is for preventive healthcare where you are deficient in something and you're supplementing that. Right?
Yes.
The other part of it is purely aspirational.
Performance.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah,
exactly.
the superhuman performance vibe
Performance
that you're coming to,
line
whether it's on
supplement.
intelligence or athleticism or
yes.
whatever it is that you're trying to drive, right? And that has to be very goal driven.
Exactly.
So if I have a certain goal, if I want to look better, I'm going to do this. If I want to run better, I want to do this. That is how we should be.
And that goal can also be achieved naturally, not just with supplements.
Absolutely.
But
absolutely.
As we all are urban jungle natives, it's hard for us to do, and this is an alternative we choose.
Yeah. It almost, and I've seen that this entire aspirational healthcare part of the world, right? It is also to us, if you have seen the price of AG1, you would be surprised. Why is a multivitamin so expensive, right? It's crazy expensive. I've seen shrooms being so expensive, right? So I think all of these aspirational bits are also expensive to that extent, where I think unless you really want to solve a particular goal, you might not even venture there, or unless you are like bloody rich. In that case, if I had enough money, I would go and take all the aspirational healthcare things. I could.
Absolutely.
Why not?
No, I don't know. I'll first test.
Yeah, I mean, this DYOR part, right? Like what they say in crypto, right? Say they do your own research, right? That applies big time
Yes.
here. So whoever is watching,
Yeah, but
please
even with own
DYOR.
research, I think especially us as Indians have a habit of Googling and then going back to our doctor and saying, "Arey, ye kuch bola, there's a different opinion here. Google Baba told me this," right? So we have that very, very bad habit also.
Right.
So DYOR, yes, but
Rely on
not
experts
every
also.
DYOR.
Talk to an expert. Look
to
at us. We're talking to an expert. Do that, guys. Talk to an expert. That's very, very important. And
Alright.
that should, I think, set the foundation.
This is our first part.
Yes, this was part 1, guys. This was part 1. Tomorrow we come back and we talk about IV and we talk about it while we are on a trip, right?
And whether it works.
Yeah.
Aftab, I hope you have started.
What seat for Aftab?
I'm on the spotlight and this is, let's see. See, the logic is it should work for you. If it does not,
Yeah, I mean, so that's what you believe, right? So this is what science says. Logically, this should work. After we get hammered tonight, we should be very dehydrated tomorrow. And
and it would actually work where it might be just a placebo effect also. But what we believe.
No, I don't think. I had enough hangovers to know what the placebo was not a placebo. So I can fair, and everybody who knows me will attest to that. But let's see how this goes tomorrow.
Absolutely.
All right, that's a wrap. Thanks,
that's a wrap.
Thank you.